All right, good morning, everyone. Hopefully, everyone had a great uh, Christmas and a happy New Year. We are now into January, and this is when things get interesting for the Innovation Showcase. Things get a little exciting because March will be here before you know it. So, as you guys joined the call today, you were muted. If you have any questions throughout this presentation today, this little chat, feel free to interrupt at any time and kind of ask those questions because this call is for you guys. We want to make sure we get all your questions answered. So we got a whole host of AWG folks on the line today to do just that and answer those questions because as we get closer to March, obviously more and more questions are going to come up and we want to get those answered. So let me get a few other folks into the meeting. Started. All right, very good. So I always like starting with the showcase organization. Again, if you don't know where to go, who to reach out to, this is a good reference page going forward. Vendor registration, obviously we are past that, and now we're kind of heavy into the whole show floor design side of things. Sorry, I'm still getting people in here. And again, if you in Center Store, Culinary Stage, Compete Magazine, if you guys are engaged in any of that, as you guys should already know if you are or not. And if you don't know who to reach out to, that's who you want to reach out to. A couple of line items to call out is the food line. That is a new line this year. So if you have any questions about food, what to bring, how it needs to be packaged, and that sort of thing, how much to bring, Jenny's kind of your go-to person there. Mobile app's the other one that's new on this list for this year. And again, if you have any questions around the mobile app, how does it work? If you have any issues with it or hey, enhancements that you'd like to see, let me know. I'm running with that lane this year. So just kind of let me know. One email to call out is the annual showcase at awginc.com. That is the main email address. So if you absolutely don't know where to go, where to turn to, that is a good email to fire off to us and we'll pick that up. We got multiple people watching that, so we can take care of you. Learning Lounge educational workshops. So we're working on the schedule there, and what we need from you guys is the logos. So you guys each have a box account out there. We need, let's more people in here. We need your logos uploaded to that box account. It's going to be used throughout the showcase on the awgshows.com site. So it's going to be used for multiple things. So if you haven't done that already, go ahead and get that content, that logo uploaded to your box account. Confirmation emails about learning lounges and educational sessions. So if you're in one of those, you've been scheduled for one of those, you've got an email. So if you haven't seen it, check your spam folder. Sometimes they happen to pop in there. Letting some folks in. So if you haven't got it, just let us. You should have it, and in that form, and it'll go to the next page here in a second. Kind of review, kind of what that's going to look like. But there's a recording approval link for that. So we're going to record all these sessions that are going on. We just need your approval on that. So fill that out and just kind of let us know that you've given us the thumbs up to record that. The content for Learning Lounge educational session is due January 18th. So that is coming up very quickly. That's next week. So get that in. And then the final presentations are due in PDF form on March 8th. So you got a little bit of time on your presentations, but we definitely need that on March 8th so we can get everyone reviewing it and make sure everything's kosher with that. Kate, I'm not sure if you're on the line, if you want to add any more color to that. May not be online. So that's Learning Lounge side of things. I got some questions coming around for the culinary stage. I'll get to that here in a second. Again, this is kind of what that Learning Lounge educational workshops are going to look like. So it kind of give you that 30,000 foot view. Each presenter is going to bring their own computers with your presentation loaded. Again, this is in the email that you should have got. I just wanted to review that today, just make sure everyone's on the same page. Text They will be in the breakout rooms on Monday from noon to 1:45 to just to test connectivity prior to the workshops and the learning lounge sessions. They are also going to be there during your presentations to assist, just in case there are any issues with connectivity. Bringing a laptop in there, sometimes there's some issues depending on your setup. All the rooms are going to be equipped with a stage, a screen, the AV hookups, clickers, microphones, and there's two types of microphones. One's going to be over the ear. The other one you will actually be a handheld, so you have some options there. You'll have an AWG host that will meet each presenter at their workshops 15 minutes prior to your presentation. They will also be introducing you inside of that presentation. So definitely when you submit your bios, that's part of this email that went out asking for your bios. Be thinking about that when you submit that. That is what's going to be read by that AWG host in those Learning Lounge educational workshops.
Hey, Jason, this is Stan with FMS. Got a quick question on that.
Yep, fire away.
So if I'm flying somebody in for the educational workshop, do they count as one of the members in our booth?
Yes, because you'll have to register them in your booth. So make sure that gets done.
Just trying to slide another person in without paying for it. Thanks.
All right, reading some questions here. Culinary stage. So some of the questions that are coming through, they were asking about that. I'm going to have a lot more information next week about the culinary stage. They're 45-minute slots. There's going to be more to come next week. Michael is doing a great job in that area. So we're expecting him to kind of bring some content next week to this. Michael, are you on the line today? Do you want to add any color to that?
Hey, Michael is not on, but this is David. I'm on. I sent an email out yesterday to the culinary stage participants, so they should have that information. It's requested that they provide info back, such as who the speaker is, a little bio on the chef, contact name, contact email, and then send that information to us. But at the time, we're just requesting that back. But we've confirmed and emailed out to everybody yesterday. So if there are any conflicts with the people on that email, please let me know ASAP. Just in case we need to look at schedule or potentially slide somebody else in your slot if you're not available for that specific time.
All right, thank you, David. There was a question that came along, do Learning Lounge deadlines apply to educational sessions also? Yes, so when you think of those sessions, think about educational sessions along with the Learning Lounge sessions, that's all on the same timeline. So get those in as soon as possible by the 18th. Box accounts, if you don't have a box account today, email annualshowcase@awginc.com. You probably have one and maybe the email just went to spam. I've heard lots of reports about that. So we can check into that and make sure you have it. That way you have access and get your stuff uploaded there. Registration, obviously we're past this. That portal, just FYI to everyone, that has been closed. So we shut down that portal this week. So there's no more registrations coming in through the site. So we are ready to go. And that really sets us up to really dig in and get really serious about the design of the floor, starting to work with the convention center, how that's going to work and get things signed off from that perspective. So that kind of goes into the next slide. Showcase layout, that's kind of what everyone's going to be most interested in right now. Showcase layout, what's my booth size? Where am I going to be located? We're working on that. We're going to get that to you as soon as we can. So just know that that's being worked on. There was a lot of requests around booth sizes. Just remember those are requests and we're going to do our best to accommodate those requests. Diamond and Platinum obviously are going to get the priority on those requests. Exhibitor forms. So next week, we are going to share these forms out, lots of forms. So if you remember in previous years, we've had sample request forms, special arrangements form, complimentary furniture forms. All of that is going to be shared with you next week. So we'll have links to each one of those so you start completing those. And that gets into your electrical inside your booth, your tables, your chairs, your trash cans, the whole gamut there. So we're going to kind of spell that out for you next week and give you some links to start filling out that information so you have everything you guys need for the show. Showcase equipment, just a note there, each vendor, you got to secure your own cases. We're working internally to identify what's available today, but we can't guarantee this. So it's kind of, you know, during the COVID stuff, we were kind of dealing with that, right? We were running short on things. That hasn't changed a whole lot. So if you can get your own cases, bring them to the show. And if you have questions around that, reach out to your folks inside of AWG to see what's available or not. I don't know at this point. Just make sure you're having those conversations before you bring any of those cases. Graphic design request. This is anything that you want AWG to print for the show for you. The deadline there is February 17th, and there's a request form out there if you need us to do anything for you. Happy to do it, but we do have a deadline. That deadline is February 17th, kind of circled there in red. And FAQs, again, we're continuing to update this page. Click on that blue icon over there and you'll get another PDF, or not even PDF, it's a Word document that'll come up, and we're just kind of collecting all these questions and kind of putting them in one place for everyone to kind of digest. And then our timeline. So obviously registration is open, attendee registration is open. If you have not done that yet, awgshows.com, go out there and register your folks. That timeline is coming to an end on January 20th. So that gives us an idea of who's coming to the show and how to plan for that. It goes all the way to meals, activities, and all that good stuff. So it kind of goes out to many places. So January 20th, get your registrations in. Learning Lounge on the 18th, that's when all that content's due. So get that in. And then again on January 27th, Learning Lounge Workshop Culinary. That's our goal. That's our goal to get things posted out there, or at least distribute to you guys that, hey, this is the schedule. This is what it's going to look like. Looking at this right now, we're going to hit that date. So things are coming together very nicely on that side of things. So thank you everyone that's kind of been involved in that side of things and getting us the content, working with schedules, dates, and times, and all that good stuff. So it's coming together. February 3rd, all that's sponsorship collateral. So that's everything that's being put into your box folder. We need that information, the logos and all that good stuff. February 17th, design requests. So that's kind of what we talked about before in the previous page. Anything you guys need print for. And then March 8th, Learning Lounge and Workshops. Your final presentation is due, and we need that in PDF just so we can review it before the show opens on March 20th. So that's our timeline right now. Make sure you're hitting your due dates. They become very important, especially as we get closer and closer to March. So there was a question that came across. Do we have location, address, where to send samples, displays, etc. for show setup? Anyone, AWG, can you guys answer that? Wendy, are you on?
I am. All that information will be included in the sponsorship forms that we're going to share with you guys next week on the call next week. So it'll be detailed exactly where you can share that information and the way that the samples need to be labeled.
Very good. Another question came across. When is setup? I know we have a rough estimate out there. I don't think we've kind of publicized that yet because we're still working on the convention center. Wendy, any ideas on that? Anything that we can let them know?
So you're correct. We don't have solid times yet. As with showcases in the past, we'll be doing some setup on the 19th and then completing everything the morning of the 20th. So as far as times and that kind of stuff, we're still fine tuning.
Very good. Thank you, Wendy. All right, very good. So that's kind of the end here. It's really your chance to ask any questions. And again, I'm just calling out that email address. If you don't know where to go, who to ask, that's the email address to shoot something off to. But any other questions from the group today? Let's see. I do have one coming across. Are we able to have one-pagers, handouts at our tables with information about our presentation and products? I would say yes to that, Jesse. Absolutely. Will you be sharing the deck? Yes, Allison, part of the calendar invite on there, inside of that, inside the notes, the agenda section, there should be a link to this presentation. One link handles everything, and week by week, it's the same link, so we just update the deck on a weekly basis. Is the schedule itinerary on the website accurate? So it's accurate up until today, until something else comes up. So we have posted to awgshows.com kind of what the show's going to look like today. I don't see a lot of changes coming from that because a lot of thought went into that. We're sticking to that, which is why we put it on there. So if anything changes, we'll definitely let you guys know. But at this point, I don't see that changing. Can you provide an estimate attendee headcount for us to estimate sample quantities when you know? Wendy, can you answer that one?
Yes, we can share out an estimate. Obviously, there are always people who show up day of show, so we need to take that into consideration. But we can give you a rough estimate closer to the end of the registration time.
Very good, thank you. Other than logos, what other collateral should we upload to the Box account? Right now, all I'm aware of is logos. It's a good place to upload if you're doing a compete article. If you have any other content that's going around that needs to be uploaded, it's a good place to store your information, and it's a good place for us to know if we have it or not. So I don't know if anyone else can talk into that.
I will say after the sponsorship forms are shared with you guys next week, there's different directions on where those need to be emailed to. One of the directions is to also move a copy of that into your box folders for internal reference for us. So once you've completed all those forms and sent them to their respected hosts, please also move them to your box folders.
Very good. Thank you. Questions? I'm reading through these. Any other questions from the group on the line today? It looks like I made it through all of them that I can tell. We'll go ahead and give you another chance. Any other questions before we end today's call? Good conversation today, guys. All right, very good. We'll meet again next Thursday with some more updates. Some of those forms will be published, and we'll just kind of give you an update of what's happened in the last 7 days. So any questions whatsoever, again, that AWG Showcase email address is a good one for you. But other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jason.